Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to take a look at the Mega Art Whale Artist Gouache paint set. And you may be thinking, Lindsay, do we really need to see you review another Jelly Gouache set? Well, I would have said no, except there's one feature about this gouache that I think was kind of interesting, kind of beneficial. And it elevates it over the other Jelly Gouache sets that I reviewed. We're also going to compare swatches between this and the other, like the Himi and the Anagani. The Anagani Jelly Gouache has been my favorite Jelly Gouache thus far, but I have to say I think this one is as good in quality, but this special feature that this has makes it better. So this is a 42 color set, and it's got a snap-on top lid and handle, and it's nice and rugged. It holds it. I mean, I don't know if I'd go swinging this back and forth with my hands, skipping through a petunia field or anything, but you know, to carry it from one surface to another, it's just fine. We've got pretty large hinges on each side. And the top of the lid has a sheet of fun foam in there. And that is to, I believe, hold the lids on these packages. So when you get this, you're going to have a sheet of stickers, and the stickers are going to correspond with the little pots of color. Now, the pots of color are labeled with the number and the color, and then you can stick the sticker on. You've got to put the stickers on if you want them. I also wanted to have an accurate swatch, so I dabbed on paint on each of the containers, because look, I mean, like you can see yellow, green, light. The color of the paint is slightly different than the sticker, so I just put a dab on all these, and then because the gouache isn't going to stick to shiny plastic, I put a piece of tape over everything when it was dry so that it doesn't come off. But as you can see, these have lids, which I have not seen a Jelly Gouache set that has lids before. And Art Whale reached out to me and asked me if I wanted to review any of their products, and I said, well, actually, I have already purchased your watercolors in tubes and pan format, and I've reviewed them when they first came out, and I was very happy with them. And I said I'd actually had a few people ask me to review the gouache, and they sent it to me. Now, they have open stock availability, which is something that is really unusual. I don't think I've seen that in other Jelly Gouache companies. In fact, I'm just going to grab a couple of their open stock options just to show you how they come. So if you're not ready for an investment like this, you can actually get a set of 9, and it's not going to have the plastic palette, but they will come in the little Jelly Gouache cups. This is how they come sealed up. These also had the easiest to remove plastic than any other Jelly Gouache company brand I've ever used before. Usually the plastic takes forever to get off. I kill all my fingernails, but these came off really easily. I'll put in some footage of me removing them, but I think I did. I think I got all the lids off of these in like 12 minutes. It was crazy. I've never had such a fast time at setting up a Jelly Gouache palette. So you can get open stock of like 2 pots of color like this. This is Chinese red. That's a really pretty color. Is that color here? You know what? That's a different color. Interesting. I wonder how many colors they actually have in this, oh my gosh, that's lemon yellow. Do we have lemon yellow? Yep, we got lemon yellow, medium yellow, we got medium yellow. That's interesting. So I guess they have some other colors that aren't even in this 42 set. I know they have a metallic set too, so that might be something to keep in mind. But you can get them open stock in these 2 little pots. These are 50 mLs each, so you get 100 mLs when you buy these. Now, I do know that Anagani and Himi also offer refills. They come in a pouch, 100 ml pouch, so the same amount of material. So just, you know, I'm sure you could refill if you prefer a different brand or a price is better or whatever. You could just refill with whatever you like, but I like that they have smaller sets and they also have open stock options. They probably don't have all the colors yet, because if there's more than this 42 and metallics, I didn't think there was that many on their Amazon storefront, but they had a lot. They had a lot already, which is really good to see. So one thing that I noticed when I was swatching these out is that I was just kind of swatching them out and not really thinking too much about it. But then I noticed like some colors looked a little bit like they were a little transparent, like this magenta here. And it looked like it had kind of separated a bit, and I stirred it up with a toothpick, and then I re-swatched it, and look at that, completely opaque. I love the opacity on these colors. So I did stir and re-swatch some of the colors. I'm going to actually take this off the block because I'm wondering if I got that a little too thick. I want to bend the paper and see if we get any sort of cracking here. I think I might have put it thick on a couple spaces, so I'm just kind of curious about that. Generally, you don't use gouache too thick, but I'm just going to flex my paper and see if I get any cracking. I thought I heard some cracking, but I don't see any. Might have just been the paper, the glue from the paper pad. I don't see any cracking. There's no shiny spots, which is something that I've seen with some gouache before. So that's good. They're opaque, they're not shiny. I mean, some colors are not completely opaque, like that yellow, that red. Reds are usually tough if it's a really vibrant red to be opaque. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Now let's compare it with probably the most popular jelly gouache in the world, which would be the Himi jelly gouache right here. Now the reason that the Himi jelly gouache is not my favorite is because it's more transparent. And I prefer more opacity with my gouache. But there's just to give you this is the 56 color Himi gouache, one of the more recent sets. This is the Art Whale gouache. I'm just trying to give you a good idea of the colors. Now, if you already have the Himi gouache, I wouldn't say throw them away and go buy this. Use up what you have. Maybe try a couple pots of this and see what you think. Because the most affordable product for you to use is what you already have, obviously. But if you're in the market for it and you're trying to decide between the different brands that are out there, this is... that's what this review is for, really. Now, the Inagoni gouache has always been my favorite. I love the color palette, and I love how opaque and matte everything is. But I have to say that, I mean, I'm looking at the colors that are kind of transparent in the Art Whale. They're also kind of transparent in the Inagoni. So they're very similar. They're very similar, like that ultramarine. Yeah, they seem quite similar. I wouldn't give one marks over another one, honestly, except I like the lids on the Art Whale. So just to show you those comparisons, I really like the Art Whale because of the lids. It's got all the qualities that I liked from the Inagoni gouache, but it's got lids. So let's do a little color mixing. There's a video on my YouTube channel of this project right here. You can see how velvety it looks. There's not any shiny spots. This was so easy to photograph. This was really easy to work with. It acts like professional gouache. It's really nice. I think I'll probably do a lightfast test on this just because I'm so curious about what will fade, because I would love to use this in works that are not in a sketchbook. But I also wanted to show you that I did, I'm not a big ornament painter or anything, but I wanted to try this on wood because I thought, boy, wouldn't it be a nice option to be able to like get those wooden boxes or wooden ornaments, things like that, especially ornaments for kids to paint, either the ceramic or the wooden ones. And the coverage was really good with this gouache. Now I would definitely give this a spray of oil-based sealer to make it waterproof after you're done using it, but what an affordable way to get a bunch of paint to do projects like this. So when I was doing this, I just took a little ceramic palette, I took my paintbrush and scooped out what I wanted for colors, and then when I was all done, I just washed my palette out, and there was not much waste, and that way I didn't contaminate any of the pots of color. So yeah, they just work great. And I didn't do like anything special here. I was just kind of putting the paint on. I don't like fiddly small projects like ornaments so much, but I wanted to give that a try. So I made this swatch sheet, but I didn't put the right amount of lines on it, but we'll use that to do some color mixing. And I'm going to pick a cool primary set, or a cool primary triad. So why don't we go with this Scarlet? Actually, so one thing you're going to want to include with your kit is like a little needle tool. I like these Potter's needle tools because you can stir up the paint, and well, I'll show you, like you can stir up the paint if you feel like it's getting a little, like it's starting to dry out or it's getting separated because you haven't used it in a while. And the benefit to this over a toothpick is that you can wipe it off really clean. Actually, you know what? I'm just going to take some of that right and put it right on that thing for mixing. And see, it wipes off so clean that you don't have to waste so many toothpicks. And then I want a cool yellow, so I'm going to go with lemon yellow right here. And you'll want something like this to lift up the lids. And that's pretty well stirred up, so I'll just take out a, oh, what the heck, I'll give it a stir. Why not? Might as well. I'm sticking that in there. Might as well stir it up. I don't need that much paint, but there's 50 ml, so you've got plenty of paint to experiment with. And then for a warm blue, I will, no, cool blue. I need a cool blue. I will go with, I think I'll do the cerulean blue, because the cobalt blue looks a little bit more like ultramarine blue. I think I'll do the cerulean. When it's near the edge, you can use your fingernails probably to pull it up if you have fingernails. If your nails are really short, you might not want to do that. I'll give it a stir just to be fair. I like to make a mess and call it art. All right. Now we'll do our warm primary. I just stuck my finger on the rag where the red paint was. Oh boy. So for the warm primary, I'm going to use ultramarine blue. We'll give that a stir, because why not? I think I just stirred it yesterday, but do that over here. Bound and determined to get paint on my sweater, but it's gouache, it'll wash out, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Whenever I have a jelly gouache set to review, I get a little bit like, they're fun to paint with once you have them set up because you have all your paint right there, but getting them set up, it's always kind of like, oh, what have I got myself into? I think I could do either pale yellow or medium yellow for my warm yellow. I think I'll do the pale yellow because it's not quite as orange, but it's definitely still a warm yellow. Look at that texture, isn't that great? I'll need a little bit more than that. Yellow's always on the weaker side of other colors. And then for red, I think I'll do the vermilion because that's a little bit warmer of a red. So I like to do warm and cool color mixing triads so you can kind of see a good range. And then obviously a split primary color wheel would give you the most versatility. And you certainly can just buy the colors that you would use. You don't have to get the big set. Okay, let's do some mixing, shall we? Shall we? And I probably will add a little water to this just because it'll help it glide on the watercolor paper a little bit better. But I mean, I feel like this keeps the mess down, keeps it from drying out. I'm pretty happy with that. All right, I'll start with my cool colors. I'll start with the yellow. Actually, you know what? I'll move some over here so I can do a split primary palette too. I'm going to get a little bit of that green in there. Ooh, beautiful green. Mix it with the red. Beautiful peachy orange in the cool palette. Let me take a little bit of that red. Let's see, that's the cool red. Mix it with the purple. Now the cool, actually with the blue, it does give you a decent purple. I'll take a little bit of this blue before I get that contaminated. Okay, and then I'll just mix that out. Yeah, we've got some really pretty colors there. The purple's not super vibrant. And then over on our warm color scheme, I'm going to add a little bit of yellow, a little bit of that yellow there, just so we can do a split primary. And then let's mix that with a little bit of red. Oh, we get a beautiful orange on the warm side, not surprising. This dries pretty fast. I'm going to add that over there. Bring that into the ultramarine blue, which will give us kind of a muddy aubergine type of purple color. some of this ultramarine and put it there. The cool red and the cool blue will give us a best purple. This will probably give us kind of like an olivey khaki green. The cool colors usually get better mixes, but then when you mix the split primaries and we go with like a cool red, and I'm adding water so I don't have to get out more paint. Cool red and warm blue, we get a better purple. And then we'll get our nice warm orange there. And of course we get a good green here because we've already mixed those colors together. So we know they'll make a good green. But yeah, like you can mix the colors or you can take them right from the palette. I like to mix because I think it gives you a better, a more cohesive look. But when I did the, when I did my picture here, this is the color palette that I used. I used both reds because I like red and I thought it'd be fun to add them both in the background. I used a yellow ochre, I used Prussian blue for my blue, I used a couple, and I used 3 browns. So I didn't need to use that many browns, but I kept it to a 7-color palette. Oh, I did add white too. But I was able to mix black with the brown and the blue, and yeah, it worked out really well. And keeping with the limited palette gives you a little bit more sophistication. But I could have done this with a primary palette for sure. It would just taken more mixing. And I will say the more mixing that you do, like, or the fewer, if you use too few colors, as long as you have your values right, it's going to be fine. But you can get into a muddy territory if you have to keep mixing like 3 or more colors together to get that tone. So just, you know, keep that in mind. But I feel like you have enough variety here that you could choose, you know, 5 to 7 colors and paint whatever you like. Oh, it looks like I got some granulation there too from the ultramarine blue. But yeah, I'm impressed with this. I think I would recommend this one over the Anagani just because of the lids. I feel like it's going to protect your investment a little bit more. I think this is a little bit more expensive than the Himi and the Anagani, or maybe it's right on par with the Himi. These, I would say these are definitely better than the Himi, but equivalent to the Anagani. But they got lids, so in my book that really makes it a head above. And honestly, you don't have to take this whole thing. If you're going to go to your, you know, to your friend's house and paint Christmas ornaments, you could just take the colors that you need, put them in a little box, and bring some palette paper, and, you know, have kind of a portable situation. And you don't have to worry about paint getting wasted, paint drying out, because you can always add water to it. If you have it on your palette and it dries out, you just spray it with some water, pick it back up again, and you can keep on painting. I didn't have any issues because I started my painting there. I started it yesterday, and then I came back to it today, and the paint had completely dried in the palette. I just sprayed it and I carried on, and it reactivated just fine. So I'm going to give these Art Whale gouache paints 2 thumbs up. And I will link to their storefront on Amazon because you may be more interested in one of the smaller sets of 9. That, like, I mean, this basic color one, you've got crimson, which is a nice cool red. It's actually much brighter than that. It's much brighter than the sticker. Actually, you know what I could do? Can I flip this over upside down? This is the basic color set. Let me see if I can just flip it without... Oh, I don't know. Can I do it? Where's that block of paper? That would be a good thing to do it on. I'll just take that. Let me show you what's in this one because you'll be able to see through the plastic a lot better. There we go. So look at this. You've got a split primary in this basic color set. You've got a cool blue, a warm blue, a warm red, a cool red, a cool yellow, warm yellow, and then you've got sap green, you've got this pretty teal color, this is Viridian green, and then you've got a burnt umber. You need some white, but you could pretty much mix everything with this. So also, if you're an art teacher and you're looking to do watercolor with your students, but you're trying to be on a budget, you could water these down and get very watercolory effects like I was on the watercolor paper that I just showed you. I mean, if you look at where I was just kind of mixing just to see how they mixed out. I mean, definitely can get watercolor effects with that, and it would be a lot cheaper than the buying tubed watercolors, and it would be a lot more vibrant than, you know, the kids' washable watercolors. So yeah, this 9 basic color set is nice. There's also sets with metallics. I think you just have to really determine, that's because this is a lot of paint in one of these. It's 50 mLs. That's like, oh, that's more than 2. Well, I'll just show you. What's a 30 ml tube look like? Or actually, this is 15 mLs right here. So it's double, like the size of paint. No, it's more than double. It's triple. It's triple this amount of paint. So just to kind of give you an idea of how much you're actually getting in there. And the quality's good. I'm impressed. I hope you found this useful. I'm trying to keep my reviews a little bit shorter because I know I get so long-winded. And I was watching back a review and I was cringing. I'm like, oh my word, get to the point, lady. So I hope I did with this. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you found this useful. And let me know if you have any questions whatsoever in the comments below and I will help you as best as I can. And until next time, happy crafting. Bye!